סיבות שוב לוותר, אני הולך לפרוץ ראש ולאלתר, לראות קרוב את התמונה, איך הרבה זמן כלום לא השתנה, אני רוצה טיפה אחרת, חייב לצאת מהמסגרת, אני מחבר אותו, וזה מדליק לי את הלב, ואני הופך עולמות, והכאב לא עוזב, וכבר עבר לו הזמן, אני לא מצליח להתאהב, וכמו בחור נרקומן, בכולם אני מחפש רק אותך, אני מחפש רק אותך, תמיד ידעת לשדר איתי בתדר, למצוא אמת בעולם שכולו שקר, לעזוב הכל ותבוא יהיה בסדר, זה החיים עצמם, זה לא בית ספר, מאושרים גם לי לקום מהספה, ואז הרגש בלנית גם בלי סיבה, כי מה הסיכון שזה מגיע לנו מה, כשטוב מדי תמיד עושים את המסיבה, אני מחבר את האור, וזה מדליק לי את הלב, ואני הופך עולמות, והכאב לא עזר, וכבר עבר לו הזמן, אני לא מצליח להתאהב, וכמו בחור נרקומן, וכולם, אני מחפש רק אותך, אני מחפש רק אותך,
אני לא אומר הכי מתגעגע, כי אני לא מתגעגע, אבל בלילה כשאני לבד, אני חושב עליו, לא מחשבות חמות כאלה, על רגעים טובים, תמונה שלו בתחתונים, ישן בפה פתוח, נושם כבד, לא יכול להיות שלא נדבר יותר, מחפש מה לעשות כל ערב, נלחץ שלא מוצא, חשבתי שלבד אהיה מה שארצה, וכשארזנו את הבית פעם האחרונה, ברקע מוזיקה מילא את החלל, לה 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 לה, לא יכול להיות שלא נדבר יותר, לא יכול להיות שלא נדבר יותר, לא יכול להיות שלא. פעם אחרונה
Once again, please take your seats. Our program is just about to begin. Please take your seats. The program is about to begin.
זאת לא אשמתי שהייתי עיוור, גם ככה היית מוותרת. היה לי חלום שאני לא זוכר, אבל בטח היית משקרת. לא מעט לי, אל תלך, אתה בדם שלי.
קרה לי בדיוק את אותו הסיפור, נלחמתי עליה בכוח, וכולם אמרו לי, תראה זה ברור, לידה לא מרגיש לנו נוח. היא אומרת לי, אל תלך, אתה בדם שלי, אל תלך, אתה בדם שלי.
וכל הלילה אני בתסביכים, היא לא עונה לי, מה יגידו עליי כל האחים? הוא לא נורמלי, אני מעלה תמונות שתראי שהתקדמתי ממך.
ויש עליי דיבור בכל השכונה שהשתנתי ואתם נהייתם סוג השנה. זה לא קורה לי, אני מעלה תמונות שתראי שהתקדמתי ממך.
וכל זה בגללך,
וכל זה בגללך. עכשיו זה ברור לי פה כל העניין, היא שיחקה לנו ככה במוח. אם הייתי רואה את הכל מזמן, אז היה לי את האומץ לברוח. היא משקרת לי, אל תלך, אתה בדם שלי, אל תלך, אתה בדם שלי.
And now, please welcome your host for tonight's plenary, all the way from Jerusalem, Stand With Us Israel Executive Director, Michael Dixon.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good evening. Shavua Tov, everyone. It's great to see you all. That Havdalah, something special, huh? Something special. I'm sure that Havdalah energy will stay with me for a long time to come, and I'm sure it will do so for all of you as well, powering us forward as we do the important work that we need to do together. Amazing to see you. This is our biggest plenary yet. It's our biggest dinner ever that we've ever done at International Conference, so amazing. I want to begin by saying that I know I speak on behalf of all of us when I say that our thoughts and prayers are with the hostages in Gaza, and that we pray and demand that every single one of them is set free. And of course, everyone in this room stands with the people of Israel now in times of trouble, but also forever. And what a room this is. We have student and high school and community leaders from right across this great country and all across the world. So, for the final time, friends at International Conference, let's do a little roll call from across these United States. Where's our Florida delegation at? Rowdy, rowdy. Midwest. Central. I like it. Northwest. Southwest. I see you, I see you. Southern California. New England. Tri-State. Southeast. Mid-Atlantic. Northwest. And where are our Christian outreach fellows? We love you. We love you. And our friends from Hindu Yuva also with us tonight? Yes. Yes. All right, we appreciate your allyship now more than ever, but Oi, Jews and their food. Terrible. I can say that. Okay. We have a delegation from Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, The Netherlands, Belgium, and the United Kingdom, and of course Israel in the house, Okay, so we have got such a program for you tonight.
Of course, thank you. Hi! Hi, everybody, and welcome. Thank you all for being here. I'm Lauren Kran, and I'm a Druze Israeli educator working with StandWithUs UK in London. I was born and raised in Israel, in Yarka, a Druze city in northern Israel near the Lebanese border. Even though Yarka is a Druze town where we speak Arabic, its name comes from the Hebrew word yarok, meaning green. This shows the deep connection between Druze and the Jewish people in Israel. At the age of 18, like many Druze and Jewish citizens, I served my country. I completed 2 years of national service. Military service in Israel is mandatory for both our communities, Druze and Jewish. And my family is proud to serve. My father, my hero, has been in the Israeli Defense Forces for the last 34 years. As a commander in the Golani unit. My brother is a prison police officer, and my sister is in med school. At the age of 20, I moved to Haifa, a city in northern Israel, to follow my dreams and become a nurse. I later earned my master's degree in public health. The Druze people are a small but proud community. Most live in Israel, Syria, and Lebanon. But we also have communities in North America and South America. In the Middle East, religion shapes everything. The Druze faith is an Abrahamic religion with deep roots in Ismailiyah. Our two most important values are honor and loyalty to the land we live in. That's why Druze in Israel serve in the IDF, and that's why I'm a proud Zionist. That's also why I fight antisemitism, because I believe in justice and truth. On the 7th of October, my father called me early in the morning. We have war started, he said. Hamas terrorists has invaded Israel, murdering, raping, burning people alive, and taking hostages, dragging them from their own bedrooms in their own homes in the kibbutzim, and from the Nova Music Festival. I was in Haifa, far from the south, but I was still afraid. My father told me not to take public transportation. It wasn't safe. At Rambam Hospital, the largest medical center in northern Israel, I treated wounded soldiers and civilians. The pain and the destruction I saw will stay with me forever. Then, on July 27, 2024, tragedy struck again. 12 Druze children aged from 8 to 15 were murdered while playing soccer in Majel Shams, a Druze town in the Golan Heights near the Syrian border. They were killed just because they were Israelis. As a Druze, an Arabic speaker, and a proud Zionist, I stand here, proof of Israel, diversity, and democracy. As a Druze Israeli, all of this makes me even more closer to my identity. And that's why I joined the Israeli Stand With Us Fellowship, which selects 125 applicants every year out of thousands of applicants and helps us become a better ambassadors for our country. With this training and my ability to speak 3 languages, Arabic, Hebrew, and English, I was ready to take on the world. fellowship, I began working at the StandWithUs UK office in London as an Israeli Druze educator. Times are rough, but nothing confuses haters more than speaking with the Zionist Druze. I'm a proud Druze Israeli whose first language is Arabic. Let them dare tell me this is an apartheid state. Stand with us is the reason that I'm standing up in front of you all today. I know that's true for so many of you, my brothers and sisters. And I can promise you this, we will never stop. Toda, shukran, and thank you.
Wait. Are you telling me that Israel is not an apartheid state?
Nothing about my country is apartheid. I'm a true example of that. And I will keep on speaking up, sharing my non-Jewish Israeli voice to the whole world. I'm Israel Chai.
Wow. This is crazy. The Columbia students have been lying.
Lauren Kran and Zach Stage Fox, thank you so much. Inspiring. Inspiring. Okay, now it's time for some music from an Israeli singer whose career began in the IDF military band. His success led him to continue performing in Israel and abroad. On October the 4th, 2023, he debuted his UK tour in London, but 3 days later, the October 7th massacre changed everything. Less than 48 hours after the attack, he co-wrote a song inspired by a couple who were at the Nova Festival hiding for hours, pretending to be dead. He was joined by musicians of different faiths who came together as a choir to create a song with hope of leading a campaign against anti-Semitism worldwide. Tonight, for the first time, you'll hear it performed live. To perform anti-Semitism, it is not over until it's over. Please welcome Barak.
Still hear the music playing, looking in your eyes. Stands on the edge of darkness, as embers we still shine. It's not over. It's not over. For the sake of what we have it all. There's a spark in us that keeps us holding on. It's not over till it's over. There's a plan for us to plant another tree. In the wounds, the everlasting light will be. There's a beauty in the world we carry on. It's not over till it's over. There's silence in my heartbeat calling me back home. Racing the thoughts of violence, but we're not alone. It's not over. It's not over. For the sake of what we have it all. There's a spark in us that keeps us holding on. It's not over. It's not over. Arm in arm, we'll see the dawn. Bound to each other, we are one. In the proper rain, we won't go in vain. It's not over the grace above that keeps us holding on. It's not over. It's not over till it's over. תודה רבה. Thank you.
Thank you. Give it up for Barak one more time. All right. Now, quieten down. You guys are getting very excited tonight. Quieten down. All right. Shh. In these tough times, we rely on our secret weapon to get us through. That is, of course, humor. And our next guest has a ton of it. He's an actor and comedian that you know from Netflix, Disney Plus, and Hulu. Personally, I loved him in Cobra Kai, and I bet you guys did too. You may also know him as Falafel Phil from Disney's Kicking It. Please welcome Dan Ahdoot.
Thank you. What's going on, everybody? Oh, Falafel Phil is a Jew? What? Okay. Guys, give it up one more time for Barak. How sexy was that Semite? In the world! I was like, what in the Israeli idol is going on? This is exciting. We got a lot of different colored Jews here. We got white Jews. We got brown Jews. Ashkenazis, where you at? Sephardics, where you at? And where my black Jews at? Woo! Woo! Saw you guys rapping to Hava Nagila downstairs. That was weird. This is exciting. I'm a Persian Jew. Yeah. Iranian Jew. It's really one of those classic combinations like peanut butter and cat. It was always fun having Ashkenazis over to our house, though, right? Like Ashkenazi friends over for dinner. They'd always eat our food and be like, wow, what does that taste? It's called flavor. There's life outside of boiled fish, Avi. I grew up in America. I had immigrant parents growing up, which was exciting, but it was embarrassing. They would always try to assimilate into American cultures and take on, like, you know, American traditions and stuff. Like, my dad's favorite holiday is April Fool's Day. He doesn't really know how to do it, though. He'll use it more as, like, a form of confession. He'd be like, oh, Dan, remember you came back from camp and and your hamsters were dead? That's because I killed them all. April Fools, I forgot to feed them. My bad. I'm like, what? That's not how it's done. No one gets technology in my family. My grandma doesn't get the concept of voicemail. Every voicemail she leaves me sounds the same. It's like, hello? Okay, click. That was... Now she's getting a little better. She's like, hello, Dan? Please come to my house for dinner tonight. I am cooking special Persian food. Oh, by the way, this is your grandmother. She always feels like she has to identify herself on the voicemail. As if I have all these random old Middle Eastern women calling me, saying grandmotherly things. Like, hello, Dan, it's cold outside. Wear a sweater. Who is this? You will never know. Click. Show yourself, mystery grandma. I love it, though. I love this crowd. We got Christians here. Where's the Christian group? Everyone, give it up for the Christians. Yes! Thank you for being here. All the people working here are like, what the hell is this group? They've got Hindus. Where are the Hindus at? Give it up for the Hindus, wherever they are. I'm not sure. Yes. Are you lighting up for the Hindus? Hindus? I love it. College? You guys are in college? Some of you in college? Yeah. I don't miss being in college. I don't miss having roommates. I had this one roommate once, this really stuck-up girl. She came back from shopping one day. I was like, where'd you go shopping? Oh, I went to Target. You mean Target? No, I went to Target. Since when does it make something more socially acceptable if you pronounce it in a French accent? It's like, dude, where you been the past 6 years? Oh, me? I was in prison. It's fine. Yeah, I committed a double homicide. It's totally fine. So a lot of you are Falafel Phil fans, which is crazy. It's crazy. Because I got to tell you guys about what that experience was like for me, okay? I got to tell you what this experience was like of being Falafel Phil. Falafel Phil kind of ruined my life for a while, okay? Because as you guys know, it's a pretty racist character now that we look back at it. And so I became Falafel Phil, and it like completely ruined my game because like suddenly I was super famous to like all these 5- and 6-year-old kids. And like I'd be on a date, and like I wouldn't want this girl to know that I'm freaking Falafel Phil. And kids don't get that there's boundaries, like you can't just run up to someone at inopportune times. So suddenly, like, 10 snot-nosed 5-year-olds will just run up to our table and start banging on it, like, oh my God, it's Falafel Phil! Make me a falafel, Phil! Make me a falafel! I'm like, shut up, kid, can't you see I'm on a date here at Chuck E. Cheese, apparently? And kids also don't get that you're an actor playing a role. Like, they think you're the actual guy when they see you, which got me in trouble. I was at a mall, and this little boy was walking with his dad. Kid sees me, lets go of his dad's hand, and just starts sprinting towards me. Grabs onto my leg and is like, oh my God, it's you. I can't believe it's you. The dad runs over. He's like, whoa, 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 son, who is this man? I'm like, sir, it's okay. I'm just an actor. No, he's not. He's Falafel Phil. I see him in my room every night at 8 o'clock. That's a true story, guys. It's not good. But I love you guys because you're combating anti-Semitism on your campuses, which is awesome. Thank you for doing that. Anti-Semitism is getting out of control now. Jews are getting guns now. Jews are getting guns. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. I went to a gun range in LA recently. It looked like a frickin' Chabad. I put my arm out to shoot. Some guy wrapped it into fill-in. I was like, what the hell? What are you doing? Israelis, where are my Israelis at? Yeah. What's up? What's your name? What's your name? What is it? Zach? Oh, Gilad. What's up, Gilad? Are you guys Gilad fans? What? This is like the psychotic table. What is happening in that corner over there? What? They're also Israeli? Oh, okay, so you spread the Israelis around the room. You can't have them all in one place. It's going to be too much crazy. Guys, I was actually in Israel. There you are. Yeah. Hey. Okay. All right, back to me. Thank you. I was actually in Israel 2 years ago. I was doing a comedy tour in Israel. This is a true story. I did 8 shows all over the country, all over, from Tel Aviv to half an hour outside of Tel Aviv. And this is true. I did 8 shows, and the next day I got on a flight, direct flight from Tel Aviv to Dubai. I did 1 show in Dubai, 5 minutes long, and it paid me 3 times more than every show in Israel combined. That was my miracle of Hanukkah. But when I was in Israel, I experienced 2 things. I experienced racism and I experienced anti-Semitism. I want to tell you about both of them. First of them, I experienced racism. So in Israel, they have little stereotypes for every different kind of Jew. Right, Israelis? Like the Ashkenazis are smart, the Yemenites are fiery. What's the stereotype you guys have for Persian Jews? Cheap. Exactly. Yeah, say it to my face. They say that we're cheap. How messed up is that? The Jewish people, a people who are falsely maligned by the whole world for being cheap, these guys are like, no, we're not all cheap. They're the cheap ones. And it's worse for me. I am an Iranian Jew from a town in Iran called Esfahan. And in Iran, every single Iranian Jew has their own little stereotype. Do you know what the stereotype is of Iranian Jews from Esfahan? Which I am the cheapest freaking Jew you're ever gonna see. I'm like a Russian nesting doll of cheap Jew. And I experienced anti-Semitism in Israel as well. And I'm gonna tell you this story. I was in Jerusalem while I was doing my tour, and I had a day off, and I was just walking through the old city, and I saw a sign that said Arab Quarter, that way. Now, I wasn't on a tour or anything. You know, normally you go, if you're on a tour, they're like, you can't go here, you can't go there. But I was alone, and I'm like, I'm gonna go to the Arab Quarter, you know? I've been watching some Fauda, I think I can do this. So I walk into, this is a true story, I walk into the Arab Quarter, I'm like, eyebrows, don't fail me now. And then I see a sign that says Temple Mount, that way. Now, Jews aren't allowed to go on the Temple Mount, because we're the ones doing the apartheid. You'll get that when you get home. But I was like, I'm gonna go on the Temple Mount. So I start walking up with these Muslim guys, all right? And we go through this like narrow corridor. There's 5 stairs, and the Temple Mount is right there. And these 4 Israeli soldiers are on the top of the stairs, okay? So I start walking up with these guys, and we walk up, and we're getting to the top, and one of the Israeli soldiers looks at me and goes, hey, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't speak Hebrew. He's like, it's closed. I was like, what do you mean it's closed? Everyone's going up. He goes, no, it's closed for you. I was like, why is it closed for me? He's like, only Muslim. I was like, yeah, I'm Muslim. He goes, I was like, oh shit, I didn't know there was a quiz. So I was like, I don't speak Arabic, I'm Iranian. He goes, you're not Muslim. I was like, that's amazing. How did you know that? I'm an Iranian Jew. How did you know that I'm not Muslim? I swear, he goes, your nose is too big. Get out of here, yalla. I was like, I'm calling Roz Rothstein. So I wear this necklace whenever I'm on a red carpet. I wore it on the Cobra Kai red carpet. Yes. I absolutely believe that Israel has a right to exist, 100%. I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't. Because the Palestinian chants are just so much more fun than ours, right? They're so good. They're quick, they're catchy. Even if you don't agree with it, they're just fun to sing, right? There is only one solution, Intifada Revolution. I'm like, did DJ Khaled write this shit? From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. I'm like, this is the new From the Window to the Wall. Yeah, it's a little genocidal, but the beat slaps. You listen to our chants, they're awful, man. They're so bad, right? Because Jews always feel like they have to convince you with a bunch of facts and minutia, rather than just sticking to a catchy tune, right? They'll be like, okay, guys, we're gonna do one of those chants that goes, when I say X, you say Y, X, Y, X, Y. Here we go. When I say that in 1948 there was a UN partition plan giving a separate state of Israel alongside a state of Palestine, and the Israelis accepted it and the Palestinians rejected it, and the start of the War of Independence, and against all odds we won. And then in 1967 was the Six-Day War, where again all of the Arab armies attacked us, and again against all odds we won. But then the UN resolution 242 for the refugee crisis that started, which we will take care of in another time. And then in 1973 was the Yom Kippur War, where again all of the Arab armies misinformation the Israelis invented? That helps me get from one place to the other a little bit faster. But let's be honest, sometimes they make me turn left into 3 lanes of oncoming traffic. And I don't really want to do that. So I guess what I'm saying is you have to judge every country equally. You say, yeah. It's like, thank you very much, guys. You've been amazing. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Oh, guys, you're making me blush. The Christians are standing up for me. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Oh, my God. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
So thank you, Falafel Phil.
Yes. You're welcome.
Is there anybody from a campus anywhere across the United States who might want to have Dan Ahdoot join you on your campus for a comedy night?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's Ahdoot it. So we are going to ask you, if you're interested, if you're on a campus, we're going to ask you to speak to your manager, your campus manager, and see if that will be possible and find out what you need to do to make that happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
And now it is my great pleasure to bring up John Ondrasik. John is a songwriter and performer of the platinum-selling Grammy-nominated 5 for Fighting. After October 7th, John released a powerful video, I'm sure you've seen it, with the song "Okay" about the Hamas invasion of Israel and the cultural aftermath of rising anti-Semitism, both in the United States and around the world. His video was actually released by Israel and went viral with millions of views. John is a member of the wonderful Brigade. Give a shout out to the Brigade group in the room tonight. Thank you for joining us. John reached out to me because he was a member of the Brigade group, and soon we became fast friends and allies in the fight against anti-Semitism. On April 13th, 2024, John performed "Okay" and "Superman" at Hostage Square in Tel Aviv for hostage families and the nation of Israel just hours before Iran launched its missile attack. But we will let him tell you about that and how he dealt with it. John has changed his life since October 7th. He's not Jewish, although he is married to a wonderful Jewish wife, Carla, in the room. He is a righteous Christian who is actively, constantly standing up for Israel and the Jewish people. On December 15th, a bit over 2 months ago, Stand With Us had the pleasure of honoring John Ondrasik with the Guardian of Israel Award, because that is what he has become, a guardian of the state of Israel and the Jewish people, just like all of you guys. Please turn your attention to the screens and let's learn a little bit more about John Ondrasik.
I can't stand to fly.
I think when Superman became one of the songs that recognized the heroes of 9/11, and I performed a concert for New York, I saw how a song can transcend and move people in a way nothing else can. Never could have imagined I'd be singing at Hostage Square my song OK and Superman for the hostage families, 5,000 people in the nation of Israel. It was a surreal night. I'd never thought I could ever have experience close to performing at the Concert for New York after 9/11. But this was very similar. To see the pain of people 6 feet from you holding the poster of their loved one who was a hostage. Also to see the solace of what music can bring in no other way to people that night. I know what's happening on our college campuses. It's disgusting, it's sickening, it breaks your heart. But we need to stand up to that. I went to Cornell and I performed on campus at Bailey Hall. And I sang OK, I sang Song for the Hostages. And it's not gonna be just Cornell, it's gonna be UCLA, it's gonna be Columbia. I'm not Jewish. I'm very new to the Jewish world. And Stand With Us was my first introduction. I'm honored to not only be a soldier in your army, but I'm honored to stand beside you.
Please give a warm welcome to John Ondrasik.
Thanks, everybody. Nice to be with you again. Last year, in a moment of insanity, when I was speaking to your fellow college students, I gave out my cell phone number, expecting not to get many messages. I'd never heard of this thing called WhatsApp. That was my first mistake. But I'm glad I did, because throughout the last year, I've heard from many students in colleges all around the world. Some of you here, we've spoken. My man Zach over there, a fearless warrior. And one sentiment that was basically common with every conversation was how students on our college campuses and our high schools feel abandoned. Jewish students. And that's because they have been, and we know that. But it's been quite a year. There's been a lot of change since I was last here. Certainly, I'm not going to say good news, because there's no good news until the hostages are home, but there's been some positive developments, and there's been some reality where the song remains the same. We saw that again this week at Bernard and Columbia. But what has happened in the last year? Well, certainly on the global stage, Hamas is basically decimated. Hezbollah, a shadow of itself. Iran neutered. It's a good thing. So things are moving in many places in a good direction. But I'll tell you what I fear, what my biggest concern is. I fear that when this war is over, which will be soon, and the hostages are home, that many will revert to a pre-10/7 mindset. Not so much in this room, but we saw it after 9/11. When I was in Israel, I spent some time with Natan Sharansky. Of course, you all know the icon, almost religious figure. And he said something to me that has still stuck with me. He said, 20 years ago, somebody asked him, what's the biggest threat to Western civilization? 20 years ago. And 20 years ago, he said, American academia. And he's right. And he's right. And I'm frustrated when I see, Bernard go crazy and people get assaulted and the, administrators capitulate, unexpel kids. I'm frustrated with all the posts from the usual suspects. We're outraged, we condemn this. We've been seeing that for years. It's empty words. I'm focused on action. Some of you have made decisions that are hard, but they're in the right. Some of you have unenrolled from your schools. Some of you have sued your schools in class actions. You can clap for that. You see what Shabbos is doing at Harvard. The great thing about suing these colleges, you can clap for Shabbos. Let's give him a hand. We'll talk about a hero. It's not just hitting it in the pocketbook. When you sue these schools, you have to do what's called discovery. And what do we discover? The toxicity of these administrators. There's great resources at Stand With Us. I know many of you are working with them. That is critical. I know you parents have stopped donating to your alma maters. You're not sending your kids there. But I want all of you guys to know that you're not alone. 80% of America has your back. If you look at the polls, 80% of America. It should be more, frankly. But you're not alone. You have people that will come to your schools. You have artists that will come to your schools, because that is how we win. I appreciate speeches, I appreciate op-eds, but how do we win? We win with comedy, we win with music. That's how we get to the kids on TikTok. And one thing I've been a little frustrated since I'm laying it all out on the table. There are certain schools, certain Hillels, when you say, you know, we'll come, we'll speak, we'll walk through the bullies. Some of them say, well, we don't want to cause a ruckus. That's a problem, because we need to go on offense. We need to go on offense. We need to walk through the bullies. When I went to Cornell, it's not just to support the Jewish students. It's important. People were crying when I went there. But it also gave people energy and faith to write in their school newspaper. There was an article that went viral nationally. The whole attitude changed. So we need to come, we need to walk through the bullies, and we need to save the kids who've been indoctrinated. We need to save them too. They don't know what they're doing. They're in a cult. And my last thought, last year when I was speaking to you kids, I said, I lamented how unfortunate, how sad it was that you were on the front lines of this battle for civilization. It really broke my heart. You didn't ask for this. You just wanted to go to the school you loved, and here you are on the front lines of the civilization. But a year later, I'm glad you're on the front lines of civilization, because you are in the right, you are brave, you and Israel are frankly saving the world. And we're just here to support you. So again, last year I gave out my cell phone number. This year I'm going to give out Michael Dixon's cell phone number. We're in this together. It's not about Jewish, Christian. It's about human versus evil. All right? Thank you very much. I'm going to forward them to you. Yeah.
So he's going to forward all your calls to me. No, that is not a thing. John, thank you so much. It's always so great to be with you and to have you with us. And I just, before you leave, I just had a request from quite a lot of people. Is there any chance on the planet that we can get you to play?
Do you have like an air piano here or like an air guitar or something like that?
Well, if we did have a piano, would you play?
Yeah, if you had a piano, I would play.
I think we have a piano.
I don't see a piano.
I think we do have a piano.
Where's the piano?
I think it's coming. It's coming. Yes, sirree. He's going to play for us. Yes.
I see a microphone. Oh, my God. Okay. So why they set up this piano, let me just tell you a little bit about this song I'm going to play. This journey for me has been amazing. I have been, frankly, very blessed to become, in some ways, adopted into the Jewish religion. Out of this tragedy, I've met such amazing people, none greater than Roz and Jerry, and everybody at Stand With Us, and so many of you. And I'm going to tell you kind of my experience in Israel, but it started here. It started here a year ago, and it just came flashing back to me downstairs, because I really didn't know much about what was going on. We had Jewish friends, but I didn't really live the Jewish life. But they asked me to come speak at this event after OK did its thing. And I came, and the first thing is I walked into the room. It was across the hall last year. And I saw all these kids singing, dancing in a circle. And they were singing the song One Day. And I'm like, that's a pretty good song. Little did I know 6 months later I'd be singing it with Matisyahu at MIT, which is name drop, name drop. But to see that joy and that energy in such horrible times when you're facing this crazy anti-Semitism on your campuses, I didn't understand it. It was hard for me to put my head around that. And I had the same experience in Israel when I went to Israel. As Ross mentioned, I went over, thanks to Stand With Us, thanks to Joel and Marcy and a few other folks. And I wasn't planning on singing at Hostage Square, but Edon Reichel, name drop, asked me to play, and I performed. But that night, as everybody knew Iran was on the verge of attacking, I heard an announcement that I'd never heard before a show. And I played a lot of shows. And the announcement was, in event of missile attack, please put your hands over your heads and take cover. And nobody left. There were 10,000 people there. I wanted to go run and hide under my bed. Nobody left. And so I performed. I sang my songs, very emotional. And as I walked off the stage, the head of the hostage forum, Rebecca, said, "John, you need to be in your hotel room by 11 o'clock tonight." I'm like, 11 o'clock tonight? Why not now? She said, "You need to be in a safe room by 11 o'clock. It's about 8:30. I'm like, okay. So we kind of knew what was going to happen. So I had my entourage there, Rick from the AJC, Joel was there, Marcy was there, my friend David Azulai was there. And I said, "You guys heard?" "Yeah, we heard." "All right, let's go to the hotel." "But John, we have dinner reservations." I'm like, ha, 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 you're funny. Let's go to the hotel. Let's go to the safe room. "John, I waited 2 weeks for these dinner reservations." And I'm like, you guys are nuts. So we basically negotiated to go have dinner at the hotel, which we did. And I'm looking, it's 9:30, it's 10, I'm starting to freak out, and everybody's at the bar eating, drinking, having so much fun. It's 10:30, I'm like, all right, guys, let's go to the safe room. "Well, we'll meet you up there." And my son was there, 24 years old, Johnny. My wife was not happy about that. He was there. And he loved the food, but he loved the girls more. And he was at the bar with David. Everybody's doing shots, celebrating I don't know what. I go to the safe room, 11 o'clock. Iran launches the drones. I'm alone in the safe room. I call downstairs. "Hey guys, Iran launched the attack. Those drones take 8 hours to get here. Come on down." That's who you are. You're a little crazy. But you find a way to find joy in the darkest of times. And I envy that. I envy that. And that is probably why you win. This song's called 100 Years.
I'm 15 for a moment, caught in between 10 and 20, and I'm just dreaming, counting the ways to where you are. I'm 22 for a moment, she feels better than ever, and we're on fire, making our way back from Mars. In 15, there's still time for you. Time to buy, time to lose. 15, there's never a wish better than this. When you only got 100 years to live. I'm 33 for a moment. I'm still the man. You see, I'm a they, a kid on the way, a family on my mind. I'm 45 for a moment. The sea is high. We're heading into a crisis, chasing the years of our lives. In 15, there's still time for you. Time to buy, time to lose yourself within a morning star. In 15, I'm all right with you. 15, there's never a wish better than this. When you only got 100 years to live, half time goes by. Suddenly you're wise, another blink of an eye. 67's gone, the sun is getting high. We're moving on. I love your lights. We're moving on. I'm 99 for a moment. I'm dying for just another moment, and I'm just dreaming, counting the ways to where you are. In 15, there's still time for you. 22, I feel you too. 33, you're on your way. Every day's a new day, yes. It's a new day. There's never a wish better than this. No better than this. When you only got 100 years to live. God bless.
You want me to sing? Wow, 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 wow. Give it up one more time for John Ondrasik. Incredible. Incredible. My phone number is 613-1948. Okay, now, as Israel battled enemies on 7 different fronts, Jews around the world have been dealing with hate and incitement in person and, of course, online. It's been tempting at times to fall into the abyss, to believe that truly everyone is against us and nobody's by our side. But as we've seen with John, fortunately, we've been blessed with very brave allies who stood up with us, no matter what the cost is to their personal life. Few guests have been more prominent. Sorry, I should say few voices have been more prominent than our next guest. A journalist, activist, and online influencer with a huge following who was born in Yemen. He's become a powerful voice for truth and democracy after seeking asylum in Sweden. As a former refugee who witnessed firsthand the dangers of extremism and misinformation, he offers a unique and compelling perspective on the challenges facing Israel and the broader Middle East. Take a look.
I'm an Arab Muslim who supports Israel. Let's see what people think about that.
So it says you support Israel. How so?
There are more than 53 Muslim countries. There are more than 63 Christian countries. There's only one Jewish country.
So proud to have with us Luai Ahmed, who's a writer, a host, and so much more.
I do a lot of content. I write for different newspapers. I could have been Hamas. That was the person that they raised me to be. Not tell you enough how much I love my Israeli and Jewish friends that I've made since October 7th. Even though I lost many friends and family members, I have said that I will spend the rest of my life showing the truth of Israel and the Jewish people to my Muslim followers.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a very warm welcome to Luai Ahmed.
Hi, everybody. My name is Luai Ahmed. I was born and raised in Yemen, so this is about to get a bit depressing, so bear with me. So I grew up in Yemen, in mosques and schools that taught me that Jews were evil and that Jews wanted to kill me. As a 10-year-old, I stomped on the Israeli flag during the morning school assembly. And in mosques, I repeated after my imams, "May Allah kill the Zionists. May Allah kill the Jews." Anti-Semitism ran deeply in my blood for the majority of my life. Without ever meeting a Jew, I believed that they were all evil, that they controlled the world, that they controlled the media, that they had one collective mission, and it was to kill all Arabs and destroy Islam. And therefore, because the Jews were so evil, so conniving, so genetically flawed, we had to get rid of them. That was the only way we could find peace in the Middle East. I grew up reading my father's writings, which argued that the instability and Islamic extremism in the Middle East were byproducts of Zionism. I blamed the Jews for everything, even though my country, Yemen, and every single Muslim country had death penalties for leaving Islam or criticizing Islam, for being gay, for committing adultery. None of these things came from the Jews. They came from us, from our culture. But yet, I blamed the Jews for everything. I overcame the anti-Semitism I grew up with in 3 phases. The first phase was in 2016, when I met an Israeli Jew in Sweden. His name was Tal, and he was very excited to meet me. He told me he wanted to make me jahnoun, he wanted to introduce me to his Jewish food and everything, but I hated him. I figured out that the hate was one-sided. A few months later, Tal became one of my favorite people in the student house. The second phase was October 7. When I saw videos and images of Israelis being slaughtered, I imagined my new Jewish friends in those videos. I imagined Tal being slaughtered. I imagined Noah, my best friend's son, being kidnapped. I imagined Ofer, my editor at the newspaper I was working with, being killed. And then I saw my family and friends celebrating and justifying October 7. Seeing Muslims I care for justify the murder of Jews I care for traumatized me. I could not believe what I saw in front of me. It felt surreal, like a fever dream. In November 2024, I was invited by an incredible organization called DiploAct to visit Israel. Shout out to DiploAct. And they wanted me to, quote unquote, I was shocked that Israelis wanted a Yemeni to come to Israel. Like a Yemeni Muslim to visit Israel? Are you serious? And they wanted me to find the truth about Israel. So in an act of bravery, I traveled to Israel. The day I traveled to Israel, my brother, who is practically my soulmate, blocked me and told me that I was no longer his brother. But at that point, it did not matter if I lost every single person in my life. I would not stand by and watch as people justified and celebrated the murder of Tal, Ruby, Noah, and Ofer. So I went to Israel. And on my way, I was trembling. I could not remember a time in my life when I was so scared as I was when I was on the airplane on my way to Israel. Of course, by then I had met incredible Jews in Sweden who had shaken my anti-Semitism a little bit, but still, I was afraid. I believed I was going to be shot in Israel simply for being an Arab Muslim. On November 25th, 2023, approximately 6 weeks after October 7, I arrived in Tel Aviv for the first time ever. I immediately went to the square where Israelis gathered to stand up for the hostages. And the first thing I saw was something that I will never forget. A beautiful young girl stood in the middle of the square, holding up a sign that said, "I am an Arab Muslim Bedouin. Israel gave me my rights and freedom. Meanwhile, Hamas takes away Aisha's rights. Bring them home." I could not believe what I saw in front of me. It felt surreal, like a fever dream. 20 years living in the Arab Muslim world, not in a million years would I have imagined seeing an Arab Muslim woman in Israel, not only proud of Israel being her home, but carrying a sign that was basically political dynamite in the Arab world. A few minutes after seeing this Bedouin girl, I ran into a guy named Jonathan Al-Khouri in the same square, a Lebanese Christian Israeli who was also a staunch defender of Israel. What? Khouri told me that his father fought with the IDF side by side and that his family ended up seeking asylum and becoming Arab refugees in Israel. I could not believe what I had heard. It felt surreal, like a fever dream, like my entire life was a lie. Jonathan, who is now one of my closest Israeli friends, invited me then to a beach party I couldn't attend. I told him I wanted to meet Arab Israelis because they felt unreal, like Pokemons. And he laughed and told me, "Babe, there are more than 2 million of us here. You're gonna find so many, don't worry about it." I could not believe what Jonathan had told me. So a week ago, another Arab Israeli named Ali Shaban uploaded a video talking about his experience as an Arab Israeli in Israel. And he said something in a beautiful Levantine accent that changed me or resonated so much with me. He said in Arabic, "We Arabs in Israel know and see the truth. And we have a responsibility to show this truth to the rest of the world because people will not believe the Jews because people are anti-Semitic." Unlike Ali, I'm not Israeli, but like him, because I came to Israel, I have also seen the truth with my eyes. And just like Ali, I feel a responsibility to speak the truth, to defend Tal, Noah, Ruby, Ofer, and all the incredible loving Jews and Israelis I have met since October 7. Every time I go to Israel, I feel warmth and love, which is the exact opposite of what I thought I was gonna feel. And seeing the Star of David waving and hanging everywhere in Israel, when I was there for the first time, it made me feel safe because my Jewish friends in Europe do not feel safe wearing the Star of David. They leave it at home. They cannot share their identity in public. But in Israel, the Star of David is waving everywhere. But there's more to Israel than just a Jewish state and a Jewish identity. If you find me in a bar or a cafe in Israel, you will find me with my Ethiopian Jewish friends, my Lebanese Arab friends, my Muslim Arab friends, my Ukrainian Jewish friends, and many others. To me, Israel is like a wonderland, full of the most amazing people in the world, people forced to be on defense mode and survival mode 24/7. But yet, even with the sirens waking Israelis up at 3 a.m., or my Israeli friends being forced to leave work and go to Gaza, the beauty, resilience, love, and concept of Tikkun Olam are what color this beautiful community. Because the Israeli and Jewish community are not just communities, really. They're one big family. A family with a deep history and an unbreakable connection to the Middle East. I couldn't be more proud to stand here in front of all of you and advocate for your right not only to exist, but to be respected in the Middle East, in Europe, in America, and in every corner of this world. And now, every time I go to Israel, I am dumbfounded by how much I actually love it, the people and the culture, and it happens to be the most hated family in the world. It feels surreal, like a fever dream. I know that you're going through a hard time, and it's been hard times. I can only imagine, as a non-Jewish, non-Israeli, the things I see on the internet, the things I hear from my cousins and friends are horrifying. So as a Jew, the internet is not a safe space. And sometimes the entire world can feel like an unsafe space. But I just want you to know that even if it might not seem so, there are so many people out there who see you, who know you, and who love you. And even though I was brainwashed to believe that the Jews hated me, I understood that with the Jews, if you give them a little love, they give you love 10 times more back. Because that is what Jews are all about. Love. Thank you.
Incredible. Thank you. Luai Ahmed, everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, I heard that Kanye West has been walking around town with a certain T-shirt. So I thought this was a good enough response, right? You like it? Okay. Right, it's time for a quick commercial break. Now, I'm going to channel Tim Cook when he does those cool Apple launches, okay? Ready? Okay. Have you ever found yourself in an online argument about Israel that you weren't sure how best to answer? Have you ever been asked a tough question, but you didn't have the resources, how to counter it? Well, no longer. Tonight, we're introducing Swoot.
Hey there, Stand With Us. How's the international conference going? Having fun?
Excuse me, who are you?
I'm Swoot, Stand With Us AI assistant. I'm here to provide information and support on topics related to Israel, Jewish history, Zionism, antisemitism, Israel advocacy, and the Middle East. I aim to educate and inform based on facts and current data. How can I assist you today?
What strategies effectively combat antisemitism? What are the details of the Hamas-Israel hostage ceasefire deal? How do I contact Stand With Us? How do I report antisemitism? Meet Swoot, the Stand With Us educational assistant.
It's real. Scan it right now. You get access to Swoot. You'll be going home with Swoot to help you. It gives you an AI solution drawing from thousands of pages of Stand With Us resources at the touch of a button with information that you can trust. I'll give you a second, and we'll send you the link, of course, after this. Incredible, huh? Thanks to Stand With Us digital team, Noam, Paul, Max, everyone, for putting that together. AI is taking over our lives. Stand With Us staff, you're all fired. I'm joking, only half of you. Okay, now it's your opportunity to get involved in a very important election. To tell us more, it's my pleasure to welcome the former Deputy Mayor of Jerusalem, Fleur Hassan-Nahum, together with none other than the President of Stand With Us and its co-founder, Esther Renza. Give them a warm welcome.
and Shavua Tov, everyone. After the horrors of October 7th, we cannot afford to sit on the sidelines. It's time for Zionists around the world to reset our priorities and rethink how we invest and unite our communities, stand strong against rising anti-Semitism, and dare to reimagine Zionism and our connection with Israel. And we have an opportunity to do that now.
Shavua Tov, stand with us. Stand With Us has joined with Young Judea, NJY camps, and incredible Zionists around the world to take an active part in the World Zionist Congress elections, which are coming up this month, and voting is going to be opening soon. Together, we can help chart the next phase of Zionism and shape the course of Jewish history. We are part of a slate called Kol Israel, which is so relevant to the work of Stand With Us and what we all care so much about, namely supporting Israel and fighting anti-Semitism in high schools, on campuses, and in communities around the world. Now is the time to make the work that we do a priority for the World Zionist Congress. I'm so inspired with the knowledge that all of you here, that we have leaders sitting in this room on campuses and high schools across the country and around the world. Thank you all. You have come forward to say, Hineni, I am here, and to stand proudly and strongly with Israel. So tonight, we are asking you to say Hineni and vote for Kol Israel.
To do this on a global scale, it's time to reset the agenda of the World Zionist Congress, the only democratic body in the Jewish world. Who knew? Our slate, Kol Israel, is slate number 4. We are passionate Zionists who care about Israel and the Jewish future, while there are many other slates. Most are affiliated with a political party or religious movement. We're not.
Beginning tonight, we are all here, part of this opportunity to decide the future of Zionism. To everyone in the room who's over 18, you get to vote.
Exciting, right? So to tell us more about the Zionist Congress and the Kol Israel slate, please welcome Kol Israel Chairman and Vice Chairman of Keren Kayemet Jewish National Fund, David Yari, together with one of the Kol Israel delegates, former Emerson Fellow and current Stand With Us liaison, Betty Soar.
Thank you, Esther and Fleur. Everyone, Shavua Tov. I want to tell you that the state of Israel exists because of the Zionist Congress. The World Zionist Congress is the only democratically elected global body of Jews which once dared to dream of reestablishing a Jewish home in our land, revitalizing our ancient language, and bringing Jews home from around the world.
David, what happened to the Zionist Congress?
Well, this once inspiring and monumental movement became a little stale. Some could even say irrelevant, because it became focused on special interests, infighting over money and power. But today, this Congress must engage new ideas and new voices.
And David, it must really bring in everyone together. Jews of every nationality, religious, affiliation, non-religious, Sephardi, Ashkenazi, young, old, men, women, everyone.
Fleur, you're right, but you know what? We need more than meaningful Zionist conversations. What do we need? It's time for meaningful Zionist action.
Yeah.
Today, the Zionist Congress allocates over $1 billion every single year, making it the single largest source of funds in the entire Jewish world.
And David, we can make sure that the priorities of the World Zionist Congress and the funds allocated match the interests and the issues of today. But it's not just about the money.
So why should we actually care about this? And why does this impact us in America?
Well, Betty, because this is the only democratically elected place where Jewish leaders are chosen by the size of their ideas and not the size of their pocketbook. Where people like you, and everyone in this room can have their voices heard. And as Esther mentioned, everyone here gets a vote to decide how to strengthen and support Jewish communities around the world, rebuild in Israel, innovate, and address the changing and evolving needs of our people together.
So if you're in this room or you're watching this, you have a voice. You and your friends and your family can register to vote. You have a say.
And Kol Israel matches our priorities. We will work to fight rising anti-Semitism. We will work by supporting Israel from the US, by supporting programs that foster a sense of connection.
We all know that what was good enough before October 7th just isn't good enough anymore. I changed my priorities after October 7th, and I know many others have well. Every single one of us must stand up, lean in, raise our voices, and get involved, because our survival, the survival of the Jewish people, is at stake. Really, nothing less.
At Kol Israel, we know that Zionism is the most exciting liberation independence movement in the last 2,000 years. It's time to decide what the next 100 years will look like, and you get to impact that.
We've got innovative, bold leaders.
And decades of experience inside and outside the system.
That's the winning combo, to actually fix what's broken and think big.
Kol Israel is the party for all who want to connect with Israel without the labels. We are centrist and pragmatic Zionists. We put our differences aside for the greater good of Israel and a stronger Jewish future.
We believe in ideas and actions, not just the same old empty platforms.
Our commitment is clear. We will combat anti-Semitism on college campuses and in K-12 education.
We'll strengthen bonds between Jews in America and Israel in tangible ways.
Empower dynamic and new Zionist Jewish voices like yours.
Invest in Zionist youth movements.
And perhaps, together, invest in new Zionist ideas and put our collective resources to work for all of us.
Some of the people in this room who are here with us tonight are on the Kol Israel slate. I'm going to ask you all to stand up. Everyone who's part of this slate.
Stand up. Yay. Please stay standing. This is what we will fight for. This is your moment. This is our movement. Together, we will revitalize Zionism and stand for a stronger Jewish future.
Okay, everyone. Now you know that we have an opportunity to use this moment to impact the priorities and the direction of the Zionist Congress, to match the priorities of everybody in this room that's part of Stand With Us. And so why wouldn't we do that? Why wouldn't we do that? So what's the name of the slate?
Kol Israel.
Number? One more time?
Kol Israel.
Oh my God, you sound like you're half asleep, half dead. Okay, what's the name of the slate?
Kol Israel.
Okay, they want this thing to end. That's good, that's much better. What's the number of the slate? So good, okay, so nice. So we're actually gonna count on you to help in a big way. Not just you voting, but we need you to find at least 10 other people, family members, cousins, whoever, to help us, because we need big numbers. We can't do this without big numbers. So if everybody in this room did 10 people, that would really help us, right?
Absolutely.
That would really help us.
Make a huge change.
Okay, thank you guys.
QR code.
What? Oh, now we get some instructions on how to do this, okay.
And I'll give those instructions. Thank you very much to all of you, Esther, Fleur, David, Betsy, and of course, Rose. Now's the time to take out your phone and scan the QR code that you see on the screens. It's going to take you to a form that takes less than a minute to complete. And when you get that form, you'll get a notification when voting opens, and you'll be able to be part of all of this. So go ahead and scan that form. It's a quick process, and then you get to vote, and we get to hear your voice. So it's a big deal. Thank you all very much, and go Kol Yisrael. Thank you. All right. Okay, vote. And of course, the success of our efforts is now in your hands. And David and Fleur are around tonight and tomorrow to discuss in more detail together with the Kol Yisrael team. We want you to engage your friends, your family, to vote and ensure that the issues that we care about are discussed and part of the discussion, leading the global Jewish world, and that they get the priority they deserve. So thank you all very much. Now, I think we should take this plenary to Olympic levels. It's my pleasure to introduce Jackie Karsh, a 6-time Emmy-nominated multimedia journalist who's interviewed the great and the good, some of the most famous names in the world. Since October the 7th, she's been proactive in combating misinformation, countering media bias about Israel, and has been dedicated to Jewish activism. Many in the media could learn from her. And the person she'll be interviewing for us tonight is somebody who continues to bring pride to the state of Israel. And he's someone you wouldn't want to mess with. I can say that. He's a friend. Take a look.
Peter Paltchik, world bronze medal. Peter Paltchik, gold medal here in Tbilisi. Congratulations.
In the past year, Israeli judoka Peter Paltchik faced threats and harassment by anti-Israel individuals and groups after he supported IDF soldiers online during Iron Swords War. It didn't stop him from being the flag bearer for the Israeli delegation at the 2024 Olympic Games and to win an Olympic bronze medal.
When people ask me, who are you? I always thinking about my answer. Today my answer is, I'm a warrior, I'm a fighter.
As an Israeli athlete, I grew up on the Olympic values and sportsmanship, the values of coexistence, honor, and respect.
I knew that standing up for my beliefs, especially when it comes to supporting Israel and our soldiers, would get attention, positive and negative. But I didn't expect the scale of the backlash. Despite the threats and the harassment, I felt it was my duty to speak for what I believe in. And for people defending our home, for me, they are the true heroes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a very warm welcome to Emmy Award-winning multimedia journalist Jackie Karsh and Israel's most decorated judoka and Olympic medalist, Peter Paltchik.
Well, that was quite an incredible video.
Yeah, well, would you like a demonstration, a judo demonstration?
We were thinking about it, but I'm wearing a dress, so we don't know if judo flipping is such a good idea. All right, Peter, you have had such a remarkable journey, not just as an athlete, but as an advocate for Israel on the world stage. And so I want to start with there. You know, October 7th didn't just change Israel, it also changed how Israelis are seen, right? So now when you walk onto the judo mat, you're not just walking on as an Israeli athlete, you're walking on as an Israeli athlete in a post-October 7th world. What is that like? What is it like to compete as an Israeli athlete today?
So I can answer that question in a short story. You know, we always, as an Israeli athletes, we always had incidents such as you mentioned. And there was a very specific incident I remember 2-3 months before the Olympic Games. I was in my last competition in Kazakhstan, a Muslim country, going downstairs in the hotel, and I see one of my colleagues. I'm approaching to him, want to hug him, and I wanted to shake his hand, and he's stopping me, and he looked at my hand, then he looked straight to my eyes, and he says, "I'm not shaking hands with terrorists." So I was very ashamed of that. As an Israeli athlete, I'm representing not only the Israeli nation, I'm representing the whole Jewish community all around the world.
You know, I think I can speak for some in this audience and say that I'm sure many have lost friends over the divisive atmosphere we've been in. I know I have. Sports is supposed to be the neutral zone, right? Where that geopolitics isn't brought in, but we all know that that's rarely a reality. So have you seen a change in how some of your sports friends have treated you? Maybe some of them are actually being nicer. I don't know. That's a hope. But how people have treated you, just friends in the sports world.
For me, athletes and sportsmanship should be a bridge between nations. It should be unite people. It should be, it's the language everyone knows and speaks. So I was and still, and I will always be that kind of athlete that wants to shake hands, even with athletes that represent countries that were not with normalization and partners like that, like Arab countries. And in 2018, before Abraham Accords, in a Grand Slam placed in Abu Dhabi, UAE, even though we never fight with UAE, but we had no normalization. So I won a gold medal over there, and it was the first time ever that the Israeli Hatikva was, I was singing the Israeli Hatikva first time on Arab land, and the flag, the Israeli flag was, it was placed so high. And it was a beautiful moment. It was a beautiful moment of sportsmanship, overcoming all the politics. One of the most impactful moments in my life, in my career.
Another very impactful moment was the Paris Olympics. You had the distinct honor of being the flag bearer, and we saw in the video. This was the first time in Olympic history where the opening ceremony was not held in a closed stadium. It was held out in the open along the river. And obviously with the threats to your life, what were you thinking about when you were, bearing that Israeli flag? And, there was so much global scrutiny and threats to your life. What was the weight of that moment, and how did you kind of process it and work through it?
First of all, carrying that flag was a childish dream. Really, as a young athlete, I always look at the opening ceremony, and whoever hold the flag, I always thought to myself, could it be me one day? And when the Israeli Olympic Committee chose me to be that athlete, to be the Israeli flag holder, flag bearer. I'm not saying the word correctly, right? People correct me, barrier, so it's a bit hard for me. So I changed it to flag holder for everyone to understand. The Israeli flag holder for the whole delegation in the most crucial times of Israel history. It was one of the most powerful moments, even before my big day, my competition day. And yeah, there was fear. I would lie if I said there wasn't. And my wife, she's a police officer. So before I stepped into the plane, she was kind of half joking, half not, saying that when you're going to start hearing shooting, it's not if, it's when, because Donald Trump got shot in his ear two weeks before the opening ceremony. So she said, if nobody can secure his his life, how can they secure your, and like you said, it's in open air, in the Seine River, so there was a fear. But when I stepped into the boat with my 2 feet, everything disappeared. So I felt that in front of billions of people that are now watching the opening ceremony, this is my mission. This is the most important thing I can do for my country, to hold the Israeli flag high and proudly on that boat.
I also want to just get in your mind for a second about when you were actually in the Olympic Games, because, you know, obviously there were the threats to your life, but I can imagine, I'm not an Olympic athlete, but that...
Not yet.
that you have to get in a real mindset and you're focused on the competition and your competitor, but you also had all of this other stuff going on. So, and then you go and you win the bronze medal. How did you kind of push all of that away or focus? Because we all know that so many of the people in the audience are surrounded by people who make so much noise all the time in your face. How did you push those people out? Maybe what would you share with everybody here about that?
So first of all, as the most threatened athlete in the Olympic Games, a title I would easily give away. Confronting that, it was very hard to prepare with these circumstances. And as an example, regular athletes, were driving the regular bus towards the training sessions daily. And I had my own delegation, 2-3 private vehicles with my French special forces guarding me. And it was kind of cool in the beginning, but eventually it made me hard to prepare and to be focused. And about my competition day, I knew that I'm guarded and I felt very secure. But I was mentally prepared. I was mentally prepared for any incidents, such provocation. I knew that nobody can, 99.9%, nobody will shoot me in the arena while I'm fighting. But someone could throw a bottle, or someone could throw a toilet paper, you know, a wet toilet paper. So I knew that I need to remain calm and focused, no matter what.
Like I said, there are a lot of students in the room, and we know that campuses have become the new battleground. Standing up and defending Israel requires courage, resilience. It comes with consequences now. What would you advise the students in the audience about where to find that courage from?
First of all, learn judo.
I think Peter's giving classes tomorrow morning.
You want me to be your coach? Yeah? Okay. Michael, we should do that project, I think, right? Jokes on the side, I think that really you should take some courses, some lessons, judo, jiu-jitsu, Krav Maga, it doesn't matter. Yeah, right? And when you do that, you get yourself physically stronger, but also mentally stronger. And then you can be more fearless, and you can keep your head high and wear the Judaism and Zionism more proudly, not fearing anything.
You know, you could be out there competing and winning awards. You don't have to be here advocating for Israel or advocating for the Jewish people. Why do you do this work?
First of all, I think that this is my responsibility as a world globe athlete. You know, I have my social media platform. I have a lot of followers all around the globe, especially from people from Muslim countries. So I felt in the beginning of the war, I felt that this is my responsibility to show our story to the world and to use my social media platform. And it doesn't matter how many followers I'm gonna lose. And I lost some, you know. I didn't care about nothing. I just cared about putting our story on the front, and I do that ever since.
So what's next for you, Peter? Are you doing more advocacy, more competitions?
First of all, I'm touring right now, and starting here in Stand With Us. You guys are amazing, really. Shout out to Stand With Us. Come on. Secondly, before we talk about the future, let's talk about the past. As a young athlete, I struggled a lot financially. I tried to do everything. I'm not coming from a money family, so I did all myself, and I tried to support myself financially. I worked as a bouncer at night shifts. I did night shifts, I slept in my car for months, and eventually I collapsed. I couldn't make it. I injured, and only when I separated in my mind, I separated the financial problem, and I could only focus on my professional career, I managed to win. So the first thing I did when I came back from Paris Olympics, I established my foundation, Paltchik Foundation, to support the young generation of Olympic athletes and to give them $15,000 scholarship per year. And I chose, thank you. We chose 10 athletes. Last week we had a beautiful ceremony, and we gave them the first scholarships, and it was beautiful to see in their eyes the hope we gave them, and we got blessed. They will have a little bit less financial problems, and with that platform, we're gonna build the next generation of Olympic athletes and the next generation of Israeli worldwide sports ambassadors, right?
And win more medals. One final question for you. This looks like an audience of doers, not just listeners. So what's one action item that everybody in this audience should go home and do tomorrow?
You know, as a young kid, my grandfather, he's the one who raised me, and he always said to me one sentence. He said to me that you should be the doer, yeah, not the reactor. So we need to change the mindset. We need to program ourselves differently. We need to do. We need to take action. We need to decide that each and every one of us have the responsibility, have the power to change his own environment and to start that little change to make a bigger impact and to make a bigger change in our whole nation, in the Israeli nation, of course, the whole Jewish community around the world. And I did my change. Winning that Olympic medal. This is my impact and my change for all the Israel nation and for the whole Jewish nation around the world.
Well, I think you might have inspired some future judo Olympians, possibly. Thank you, Peter, for being a fighter, not just for victory on the Olympic stage, but also for all the values that we hold dear.
Thank you, Jackie, and thank you, guys. Thank you for having us. Michael, I see you like my medal.
I do like your medal.
I still like my medal. I prepared for you.
Medal. What
I prepared you your own medal.
No!
My man.
No!
My man. You're the man. Shout out to Michael.
Put yours on.
Oh, here we go. Give it up one more time for Peter Paltchik. Look at that. It's the closest I'll get to a medal. Okay. Well, what an evening. It's been incredible. I just want to thank all of our guests tonight and thank all of you for being such an amazing audience, a part of this incredible conference. High school, you're heading to second floor for your block party, and VIP and our adult guests are going to the Bel Air room. Shavua Tov, everyone. Make sure you sign the Israel Proud painting upstairs. Make sure you sign your name on that. Israel Proud upstairs.
בכל פעם שיוצא מעיניים חוזר אותו תסריט. זה שיאהבו אלה שעוד מאמינים בגיבורים. והוא מתחיל בירושלים, חדר קטן בבית חולים. אבא מחובר לצינורות, מולו ילד, מסביב כמה דודים. וככה בלי כישוף, ככה בלי קסמים. צמח לילד שריון 6 טון מתחת לבגדים. והוא גדל לאט לאט, הוא לומד לחיות את החיים. קצת מרביץ, קצת גונב, הטריקים מהקראטה עוזרים. הוא סוגר את הלב, עוטף את הכאב. בלילות באות מחשבות, אבל הוא רגיש, אז הוא קולט. שגם בני המשפחה סוחבים סכין וזה כבד.